Let's look at some financial functions. So here's a payment function. Let's say you wanted to calculate a loan. Here's the loan amount. Here's the interest rate. Here's the term in years. How do we find out the periodic payment, the monthly payment? Well, one good thing to know about is formatting cells. I have dollars here, a percent there. To format cells, you right-click the cell, or you select a range of cells, and then once it's selected, you right-click and you choose Format Cells, and under Number, we could choose General, Number, with or without thousand points, with or without decimal points, places, Currency, again, with or without decimal places. So we're going to stick with currency for that one. And here for percentage, right-click, Format Cells, percentage, 2 decimal places. That looks pretty good. That's the way I want it. This one, just a number. Right-click, Format Cells, just a number. No decimal places, no thousand separator. Well, to calculate this payment, we could see when we click on this cell, we could look up in the formula bar and we could see that function. Well, that one looks a little bit more intimidating, but let me show you how easy it is. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to recreate it right there. I'm going to go up to, well, it's a financial function, and I'm going to look for the payment function. You might be like, how did you know that that was the one you wanted? And you just kind of learn over time which function you need. There are a lot of functions here. There are functions I have no idea what they do. I've never used them, right? But you go to Google and you search, and how do I do this? Or you come in here and you just start reading the descriptions and you start playing with them. And over time, you start to learn, this is the function I need. That's the function I need. All right, so I'm going to use the payment function. I get the payment function dialog box, and it's asking me for the rate. Well, the rate is the interest rate, and there it is. And so I click that, and there's the rate. But I'm doing this over 30 years where each period is every month because payments are getting made every month. So right here, actually, that's my annual rate. To get my monthly rate, I'm going to divide that rate by 12. I'm going to divide that rate by 12. The number of periods, it's 30 years times 12 because I'm doing it every month. What's the present value of the loan? Well, it's a loan, so Excel wants me to put a negative sign in front of that since this is a loan, right? Like it's a negative on my personal balance sheet. The negatives are a little funny to get your head around when working with financials. So just take my word for it. If you get an answer that's the wrong positive, it's supposed to be negative, or negative supposed to be positive, just drop a negative in and change it. Hopefully you'll be okay, right? Hopefully you're not working for like some massive corporation and I just encourage you to cook the books or something like that. And you know, that's the way I was taught to do Excel. All right, and then what's the future value of the loan? Well, in the future, the loan's going to be $0 because it's all going to be paid off after all these periods are over. And then finally, we can choose the type of loan, whether or not it's at the beginning of the period when the payments come or at the end of the period. And if you leave this blank, it just automatically defaults to the end of the period. So I hit OK, and there's my payment. It's just that easy. This confusing function just filled out the dialog box, and that's all it took. Let's look at doing interest. So how do we calculate the interest payment? If you look up here, you once again see a function that looks a little bit confusing, but it's pretty easy to do. Let's recalculate it right there. I'm actually going to copy this cell and then paste it right over here. So I'll go Home, Paste Special, and I just want to paste the value with formatting. And I'll expand that so I can see it. It's just showing me the pound signs. I'm going to hit Escape on my keyboard to unselect that region I copied. So I hit Escape on my keyboard. And now I'm going to delete what was in there, and I'm going to recreate this interest payment function and go and try to get that value. Because when I get that value, I know I did it correctly. So I'm going to go to Formulas, Financial, and then scroll down to the IPMT function, which is right there, interest payment function. And once again, I have a dialog box. So it wants to know the rate. Well, my rate is 5.25% divided by 12. It wants to know the period. And this could be a little confusing because we have period and we have number of period. So the period is actually going to be right here. We're in the second period out of 360 periods. The number of periods in the entire loan is going to be the number of years times 12 months a year. The present value of the loan is going to be a negative. It's a loan, and that's what I'm starting out with. And the future value of the loan is going to be 0. And that's what I end up with. So you can already see 1310.99 right there, and let's see if that matches 1310.99. So that's how you create it. You'll notice a difference here between these two functions. What is that difference as you watch them up in the formula bar? Do you see it? So when I created this function originally, I put absolute values on this reference right here, and then also on that reference right there, and then also on that reference right there, because I wanted to be able to copy this down. So now if you look, right, and this one I added in the 0. I actually didn't need the 0. It just defaults to that, but that's okay. I can leave it in there. But when I created this formula right here, I wanted to be able to just copy it down over all these different cells so it automatically calculate everything. Here we have a retirement type of calculator thing to calculate your retirement. So sort of like if you're investing money and you're getting a certain interest rate and you're doing it for a certain time period.